Yep, you know it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special Aftershock All Elite edition of AEWSPARK. I'm just a freshly squeezed simple man, and my name is Noah Foster. And with me tonight, please welcome, of course, back Mark Griff Reviews, leader, founder, creator of the team All Elite, and for the first time ever, a real role model, a kind-hearted person with great Christian values. God bless him and his family. I always respect that being a Christian. It is, for the first time ever, the role model, Dr. Bradley Campbell. First off, Bradley, it's a pleasure to finally meet you and talk AEW with you, sir. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm just doing fantastic. Enjoying this lovely weather here in Southern Indiana, staying hydrated, and just having a brilliant time. You know, when the boss comes in on your job and you get a good review for the day, life's good.
Simple as that. And Mark, how are you, man? It's been a few weeks since we've done this.
I know. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see me or just hear me, so I'm going like you guys can only hear me. So either way, I'm going to be moving around. But either way, we're going to talk some AEW, but I'm looking forward to it regardless. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm good.
All right. A good deal. Well, that being said, I'm going to go from a relaxed demeanor to a more critical demeanor, as I'm, of course, going to round robin on you all about everything that's been going on in All Elite Wrestling. And boy, has a lot been going on, or what? As we are now literally one day away, a little over 24 hours from the first night of the 2-week spectacular of Dynamite. AEW is bringing us through Fyter Fest. And we got a stacked card for night one, and I thought they killed it on the go-home show. So before we get into Fyter Fest, I want to talk about a few things that really are not so much on this card, but I feel like based on what we've seen on Dynamite, they can influence what might happen some point during the show. Because you know Dynamite always gives you more than they actually mention. With that being said, I'm going to first start with this. I love Kenny Omega's influence on the creative direction, it seems, with the AEW women's division, as well as helping them all train and really bringing us some incredible women's pro wrestling. This division has constantly grown for me, and I love what it's becoming. And I can't wait to see who else surprises us besides Abaddon. Yeesh. But anyway, with that being said, you think about other stories, other characters developing, don't look no further than Dr. Britt Baker and Big Swole, because that is sure being turned up a lot, to the point that I feel like Reba is going to be making an in-ring debut on the good doctor's behalf. Or maybe I'm just spitballing. But with that being said, Bradley, you're a doctor, you're a role model. Give me your thoughts so far on Dr. Britt Baker, how she really has been handling her on-screen persona, and what do you think so far about this rivalry with her and Big Swole?
Well, you know, you look at the women's division in AEW, and when I started watching AEW, you know, I fell in love with it pretty quickly. But I think that one of the things that the company really needed to step up their game and improve upon was the women's division. It didn't seem there was like a lot of story there. There were some matches with some potential. But I think Britt Baker, her character and her persona, has really taken a lot of leadership in leading the way for the women's division. I think that character and just being this top heel and how she's portraying this herself as just this arrogant, well, I've accomplished all this, so, you know, I am better than everybody in the division.
I'm the one
I think
you
it's
should be following.
Well. Yeah.
All right. Well said. Mark, what do you think about the other half, though, that's been really developed? Big Swole, she came in with this emotional story about almost wrestling was taken away from her, as well as her life. And Swole is not quite Swerve. It's not confident, but it's something different. And we really seen her show a lot more of her attitude in her persona. And I feel like it really goes towards her character. We've seen Being the Elite now use Big Swole in these little PSAs, and she even used PSA in one of her promos. That really kickstarted this rivalry months ago, I might add, with the whole thing about she's married baby. But give me your thoughts so far on Big Swole. What have you been thinking about her, and what's been your thoughts on this rivalry or the women's division?
I thought it was excellent. I like Big Swole anyway, and just the fact that she's added like a new flame, like some attitude to her gimmick has actually enhanced how I even look at her now. Like I'm not gonna say I didn't take her seriously before, but she's definitely on a level playing field. And of course, we already know what Britt does. I'm so glad that she's still on air during her injury, and that we're able to see her each and every week, even if it's just a little skit here and there with Tony or whatever. I mean, she's playing this role like gold. So I'm glad to see both of them actually.
Yeah, and again, you figure about the women's division. I feel like that was the one critical critique since AEW day one, considering the way they went about the AEW Women's Champion and her booking, and some people looking at the big versus small dynamic. And then you saw this other faction coming into play, and people are like, what was going on here? And we all know the international flow that the women's division brings, where several right now of their wrestlers can't wrestle right now due to the events that affect the world. But we've seen some very promising talent. I still go back and I rewatch Shana in her debut match against Hikaru Shida. That put her on the map, and she got signed by the company. It's like the women's division has always had the potential, but now you're really seeing more of what it can bring, not just through the championship picture, but through other personalities. I always wondered that the women's division need like that big influence, like Sarah Del Rey, for example, or like a real female influence. Kenny Omega, though, he, Tony Khan, Tony Schiavone, especially with Britt Baker, they put a lot into it, and I like where it's going. And we see so far how it really has all of a sudden propelled somebody who you looked at only as a manager into someone you can believe that could really hold up with the best as a wrestler, even if it is for her cheatish character. But with that being said, so I just wanted to bring up a little bit about the women's division, because I feel like the women's division is sometimes really overlooked, and I just wanted to get y'all's perspective on a really key story being played out here. And I think a lot of the independent women wrestlers that have been involved in this company, they have a lot of potential. Christy James especially beating Kylan King in her real first win under AEW. And who could not be more surprised or believe that she belongs with the friggin' Abaddon shock that Abaddon now is Team All Elite. I can only imagine what a match between her and Chris Statlander are going to be like. That's my first match I want to see. First big match I want to see. I remember AEW Unrestricted and how Chris Statlander talks about her makeup and stuff like that, and she wants to go all dark, but that'd be more like a heelish type dark vibe, kind of like when we got the Unnatural Dustin Rhodes, for example, at Revolution. I think it's a thing to come, honestly. I want to see an alien that I don't understand. Because right now, despite Chris Statlander's character, I better understand her for AEW Restricted, and I'm fully behind her. May she get well soon. With that being said, let's just go ahead and highlight a little bit about the go home of Dynamite before we get into Fyter Fest. Mark, I want to start with you. What was one of your biggest takeaways from the go home episode of Dynamite as we head into Fyter Fest?
Can you repeat that? You were going in and out. I'm sorry.
No problem. Apologies, folks. Technical difficulties. What was one of your biggest takeaways? And we've seen the road to now as well. What was one of your biggest takeaways of the go home episode of Dynamite?
I was intrigued with the Orange Cassidy and Jericho angle just from the door, and just from even a couple weeks ago when Orange was the cameraman till this past week. It's just the story has intrigued me from day one, and I'm really looking forward to it. So just the story they were able to tell last Wednesday, it hooked me. So especially with the road to Fyter Fest and everything, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So.
All right. So before we get into Fyter Fest, Bradley, what's one of your biggest takeaways from the Go Home episode of Dynamite last week?
It's probably going to be a pretty broad statement, but my big takeaway going into Fyter Fest is that AEW does not play around when it comes to tag team wrestling.
Damn right.
And let me tell you why. Not only do we have FTR teaming up with the Young Bucks going against the Lucha Bros and the Butcher and the Blade, but that promo with that promo package with Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and the Best Friends, all that commentary, it's going to be a fight for those tag titles, and there's so much riding on the line. and there is so much at stake for all these tag teams that are involved in all these matches on both nights.
The tag team division really has taken a main event status in professional wrestling through AEW with the deepest tag team division we've seen in the longest time. And that says something when you think about other companies that try to bring you tag team wrestling, included but not limited to NWA, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, MLW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. The list goes on and on. But this is the most in-depth and supported, it seems, dynamic tag team division I think I've ever seen as a wrestling fan. And go ahead.
To comment, Kenny Omega would say, yeah, in our company, All Elite Wrestling, we decided to dominate the tag team division in all of wrestling and sports entertainment. Just like that.
I mean, literally, the things that Kenny Omega said and done like this, there's fact to every one of those words. But there's also an underlying story, clearly with the Elite Tag Team Champions. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that when we get into their match. But with that being said, let's go ahead and discuss night one of Fyter Fest. I just want to get you all simple intakes, thoughts, predictions of what you think might be the aftermath in the matches of night one. And then we'll come back here next week and see either of y'all were right. And who knows, maybe others will join us. And shout out to those that couldn't join us tonight. Shane Wells, Chase Hawkinson, be safe, do the work, keep doing what you need to do. I hope to talk AEW with you soon. Mark, I'm going to start with you on this match, though, because I don't know about you, but Proud and Powerful really seem like they need a win here. More so not just to prove the dominance that the Inner Circle can still hold in AEW, but have Proud and Powerful really done anything major for you since being a part of AEW? What's your thoughts on Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, with clearly Matt Hardy?
Look, I'm so glad you painted that narrative before asking me this, because I feel strongly about this because I'm a Santana fan. So I just want to say that before, going back to the other companies. So since they've been here, I've been kind of disappointed. I'm not going to lie. And they definitely need a win. I really thought when they came in AEW, they were going to run things, and that's not been the case. So I think they definitely need a win, and I think Fyter Fest, they're going to get one.
Yeah, and I feel like more pressure's on them now than ever because Le Champion, Chris Jericho, leader of Inner Circle, he'll be on commentary the entire night of night one, and he's going to definitely be watching this match. I feel like the Inner Circle might be going through a change before the year's out, maybe before Dynamite's anniversary in October. Just saying. With that being said, Bradley, your thoughts on this match, and what do you think Le Champion is really thinking about looking at Proud and Powerful?
Well, I think honestly, from a storyline perspective, the inner circle, I mean that's his baby, so to say. I mean those are his guys, those are his boys, and I think Jericho on commentary is going to be absolute gold on night one. So no matter what, we're going to get a great night full of fun. We're going to have a night full of laughs as Jericho and, as he would say, Schiavone and good old JR, comment on the play-by-play. But to piggyback off what Mark said, I do think that this is a huge opportunity, and it's almost kind of like a must-win situation for Private Party. But Santana and Ortiz, they've been a pretty dominant tag team. They've done well, and I'm kind of leaning towards the Inner Circle getting the win on this match.
And I agree with you, actually, because I feel like Proud and Powerful, they really need to bring some momentum back, not only to themselves as the tag team, but to the Inner Circle. Keep in mind, on Wednesday, in singles action, I think it was Mark's boy Santana that lost to Matt Hardy, despite the fact they got to bury him after the match. Wins and losses do matter. That's another loss, not only for Santana, but the Inner Circle. More loss for the Inner Circle means they're going to be less valued as a threat, I think, across the AEW locker room, especially as singles or tag competitors. So I agree. I feel like Proud and Powerful have to get the win here. So we'll just have to wait and see on this one. When you think about tag team wrestling, though, and you think about like actual tag teams and makeshift tag teams, you kind of got a combination of both with this match. But I don't know about you. I don't know what I'm looking more forward to. The old school wrestling or the Clash of the Giants. As this is MJF and Wardlow versus Jurassic Express's Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. And this goes pretty much back all the way to Dynamite's beginning with Jungle Boy and MJF, now to be picked up by Luchasaurus and Wardlow, since they've ever clashed bodies, per se, especially in that lumberjack match. Wardlow, of course, winning that lumberjack match with all the antics going along the way, and MJF shouting, low blow, F10. That is a ridiculous throw-out airplane spin move. My gosh. With that being said, though, MJF, Jungle Boy, they still want to go at each other's throats. MJF owes a victory over Jungle Boy in Double or Nothing in what was one of my top 3 favorite matches of the night. That was an incredible wrestling match. Old school at its finest. This rivalry I love. I don't want it to end anytime soon. But with that being said, Bradley, I want to get your thoughts on the dynamic you see between MJF and Jungle Boy. Do you connect these two to an old school wrestling rivalry of old that you think has just as much potential to maybe even surpass it? And overall, what do you think is going to happen in this match? Who's your pick to win?
You know, that's a really good question. Thinking about old school wrestling rivalries, it's kind of hard to say because you've got 2 fresh young guys that are really just starting to develop themselves and really make a name for themselves and what they're doing. The first thing that honestly comes to my mind is going back to the old days of the Attitude Era in the WWF, where you had The Rock and Triple H trying to prove themselves against each other, because those were 2 young guys that were trying to prove who they were, that eventually became big stars. And I can tell you right now, there's gold written all over both of those guys. I think that we're going to see a lot of great momentum in the years to come. But right now, you mentioned wins and losses and how they do matter. AEW as a company is making sure they do matter because we have those statistics to go off of.
MJF is still undefeated.
Yes. I think MJF, he may be undefeated in singles action for maybe a little while longer, but I think right now, I think that Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, I think they're going to get the victory tomorrow night. I'm pulling for them, and I think they're going to do it. I think it's going to be a real upset victory.
Interesting, considering we've already seen subtle shades of Wardlow and MJF, and there might be something brewing between those two when you figure about the events that led to that #1 contender TNT Championship Battle Royale. But thinking about that, though, Mark, your thoughts on this match, the rivalries that are in it, and what do you see coming out of it?
I actually think MJF and Wardlow are going to destroy Jurassic Express, honestly, and I don't think that they're going to do any 50-50 booking. I don't think Luchasaurus is going to get his win back, and I think that they're going to keep MJF as close as I mean, I know in singles he's perfect, but I don't know about, in tag. I don't want to be wrong. I don't know what his tag team record is, so I don't want to say he's completely undefeated with everything, but I want him to stay completely close to undefeated with everything until he gets his title shot, because I say that because I think he'll ultimately get a title shot against Mox, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, and again, you might be literally booking the main event for AEW All Out, because in my opinion, MJF, he's better than you and you know it, but he's also a AEW World Champion waiting to happen. It's as simple as that. Yep. And to answer your question, tag team record, he is 0-0 this year. His overall this year is 9-0. His career is 12-1. And the only real loss he had, where he didn't eat the pinfall and submission, by the way, was a fatal 4-way match. So, yeah, he has no blemish practically.
Nice. That'll work.
But in my opinion, I think about Luchasaurus and Wardlow, and I think about the brewing I feel that's going to happen between Wardlow and MJF, because, again, as soon as Wardlow showed any sign of really trying to break out for himself, MJF shut the door on him, but then he realized, okay, I need to play this out. This is my guy. For now, I need to play this out. I feel like we're going to see a split, and maybe somehow Luchasaurus gets his win back over Wardlow, because again, Jungle Boy and MJF, they're going to go at each other, okay? This is a story of 2 matches, okay? But the real story here is MJF and Jungle Boy, in my opinion. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I think we're getting ready for, I hope possibly, I would love to see an Iron Man match between those two down the line in Dynamite, okay? That's how much potential I see in this rivalry and how much I see in both those men as wrestlers. keeping it simple, I'm actually going to say that Jurassic Express somehow gets the win here. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was a miscommunication, thus protecting MJF in defeat, where I feel like inevitably he might even eat the fall. But again, that's just my opinion. All right. So we already talked about highlighting the creative direction, the growth, the flow of the AEW Women's Division, and two of its shining stars. But then I also highlighted someone that's finally broke out, and of course, Tony Khan, because I was down restricted. You always saw her based as a manager, but you saw somewhere working in the indie. She pulled some high spots. We talk about her gymnastics background. She has speed and agility. She showed it when she took on Chris Statlander back in October Nothing. A few hours ahead of time known, still being involved in the ladder match. Probably screwed up her lower back, and I thought gave a pretty good match against Chris Statlander. Now she's really developed this character where she feels like she's in charge, everything's going her way, and Kip is going to make sure it stays that way. So she has become the #1 contender, and here we are. It is Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford for the AEW Women's Championship. First off, Red Velvet, jeez, 11 seconds. Come on now. Poor girl. But hey, at least she got 11 seconds in the ring with Hikaru Shida. I'm sure she'll want a rebuttal from that. And then, of course, Hikaru Shida, unleashing her inner Tifa, went right out of Penelope Ford and probably broke Ricky Starks too. That was a crazy brawl. But again, it goes to show the different styles of Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford, and the fact Ford has gotten under Shida's skin. This is more than just winning a match, okay? Shida wants to hurt Ford. As she put on the road to, she don't like Ford's way of wrestling. So this goes a little further than just a belt, okay? This is about really a form of wrestling. Similar when you think about Tanahashi and Omega.
I know, I'm talking to him. It's fine. Oh, sorry.
Similar to, no problem. Similar to Omega and Tanahashi. Of course, I don't see that match being anywhere near classic as that because, again, this just really brewed within a month, really, a couple months. But with that being said, I think about this match, I'm not going against Shida knowing she's had this title for less than 40 days, and I feel that she is going to lead this division as champion, while others build character and show why they deserve to be facing her for the title, inevitably figuring out who could take the title off Shida. Way too soon. No disrespect to Ford. It's not your time to be champion yet, but this could be your best match to date with Dynamite because Britt Baker and Shida put Britt Baker on the map. Simple as that. Shida's retaining. Bradley, your thoughts on this match? What do you expect to see from Penelope Ford? And in your opinion, who do you think could be next to face Shida?
You know, I actually really agree with a lot of what you said. I don't see Shida dropping the belt anytime soon. She had a hard fought victory against Nyla Rose, which is almost kind of like a David versus Goliath type, match. She's been a dominant force. I do think though, and if you've been on Team All Elite, the Facebook page, I've done some live streams, and I talked about the women's division a few weeks back. And I actually mentioned, who are some of the stars that could come up with Chris Statlander or Britt Baker being out. And I talked about Penelope Ford, and she was my wrestler of the week on Dynamite that week where she got that victory over Shida because she just, came out of nowhere. And I think this is going to be her opportunity to show what she can really do in the ring. I think that this is going to help elevate the women's division. It's a great opportunity for both performers. And as far as who's going to be next, that's a really good question. I think the obvious choice right now, if Britt's going to be out on the shelf, I think we could put Big Swole in that picture. Although another interesting avenue they can go is we saw Anna Jay being led back by Mr. Brody Lee for the Dark Order. We could build her up, have her get some wins over some other performers, and then next pay-per-view, it's Shida defending against Anna Jay.
I like that idea because, again, we have no idea what's next for Anna Jay. But, again, Mr. Brody Lee, he makes you extraordinary. And we all know right now Anna Jay, she's going to be going through a unique character metamorphosis, I think, considering, who she faced and probably really needs to change because you're not going to be prepared to face that person next time the same way. With that being said, Mark, we can talk about Abaddon versus Shida potentially being a match. I would love to get your thoughts on that. But also, give me your thoughts on this women's championship match. And do you think it would be better if Kip Sabian was not at ringside for it?
Actually, when I heard about the announcement of this match, I was kind of disappointed because I've been a Ford fan for a while. And as soon as I heard she got a title match already, I was like, oh man, it's not going to happen. It's not her time. Ever since she beat Riho on Dark, she's pinned Sheeta. Like, I don't even know why, even now, even it being so soon, why is it such a landslide? Like, I mean, I know creatively, if they were going to book it, she should keep the title. But she's got 2 credible wins. She's beat 2 world champions. Like, I mean, she couldn't do it at Fyter Fest. That's what I would think. But honestly, I know deep down it's not her time. And that's why I was disappointed when I did see it. So, yeah, Sheeta wins here.
All right. Well, there you go. Now, we were talking about potential opponents. You brought up Anna Jay. But, Mark, give me your thoughts on this, because we remember the psychological warfare that Abaddon put Sheeta through on Dark in Abaddon's AEW debut. Do you see Abaddon going after Sheeta for the AEW Women's Championship within 4 months?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I do. And I also think that, I don't know what the travel situation is, but I think they might be keeping Sadie Gibbs away from us on purpose. I think they are getting her ready for when she does make an impact, whether it's heel or face. I think that she could do something. But like I said, with everything going on, I don't know the travel situation. So that might be so far out of the story that, I mean, I don't know. But as far as Abaddon goes, yeah, I think within 4 to 5 months, she's definitely going to take her shot.
I hope the UK truly recovers. I'm praying for you all there, because I know many people there too that miss wrestling and life being somewhat normal. I mean, at least we're somewhat normal here, but the UK, yeesh. Hi, Megan. With that being said, yeah, I mean, Shauna, Sadie Gibbs, Bea Priestley. There are huge potential matches waiting in the wings. I can't wait to see what's next, but there's no way right now I'm going against Hikaru Shida. With that being said, this match, though, night 1, this is going to be the match I'm looking forward to, and this is the match I'm still fickle about, but I'm standing by my guns. It's part of the reason why I'm wearing this. And Mark, I'm starting with you. AEW World Tag Team Championship, the Elite, 2 of the best singles wrestlers brought as a tag team. Kenny Omega.
The Elite.
On copyright. Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page versus #1 contenders, #1 ranked, best friends in Chuck Taylor and Trent. To think, these guys have been a tag team for so long, yet to receive tag team gold and achieve it anywhere in their history as a tag team. And to think, back when I was looking at NJPW, I thought the team was going to implode, and I thought it was going to be the first thing to happen on AEW. Boy, was I freaking wrong. They have benefited the most. They have contributed the most to AEW during these quarantine times. But you can't argue with the unique chemistry that these 2 as champions have really garnered to create. Whether it was in disgust, whether it was in one-upsmanship, whether it was also in confidence in each other. We've seen it all between these 2. Now, whether or not one implodes on the other during or after this match, it's hard to say. But how much farther can these 2 go as champion when they're not officially a tag team? And I see a new dynamic building in the tag team division. So with that being said, Mark, take it away. Your thoughts on this match, talk about the go-home thing, and overall, who's your pick to win?
Okay, I will say that even before Kenny and Adam had their match with Jimmy and Kip for the titles, I said, no, Kenny and Adam are going to win here because the best friends are going to beat them come Fyter Fest. And I've had that theory for the last 5 or 6 weeks. Now it's time. I think I want to say that they're going to keep them. And honestly, I'm undecided. My thoughts are going about 100 miles an hour. And now I almost want to switch back. I almost want to say I don't know. And I will give my final pick tonight, of course, for predictions. We got the cutoff for midnight. So, but I will talk about it, though. I definitely feel like this is a good time for best friends to do so. Like, if they were going to win, now's the time. But, like, with everything going on, why not keep the gold on 2 names that are over like Rover? Like, I mean, I understand that people want to see them as separate storylines and maybe Kenny going after the world heavyweight title. But at the end of the day, if you got the belt on you, you're going to be in front of the camera. You're going to be booked on every match. They're going to see you regardless. We've only got 4 belts. And like I said, you might as well keep them on them now. I've really been undecided. And I just think Kenny and Adam are definitely probably going to end up retaining here.
Okay, that's fair. And again, your prediction is not affirmed. It's more so just your analysis, and I think that's very important. But again, the champs, they are 8-0. Best friends number one, they're 10-3. Best friends have been more battle tested this year than Kenny Omega and Heyman and Page as a tag team, and also as singles compared because for a long time, Anna Page was off doing cowboy shit because he was quarantined. So keep that in mind as well. There's a lot of factors that go into this. And I think about what JR says too, because we know something's brewing between Kenny Omega and Heyman and Page. You can tell by the way they were just in that little vignette. They're like, we're going to kick those weirdos' asses. We're not really brothers. We're not even best friends, but we're the best. They don't want to part ways with those belts. Kenny Omega doesn't. But also Kenny Omega, remember, outside the character he shows AEW, he is not trying to push himself. He is trying to push the future. This is a merit bell-to-bell wrestling company that is a team-based effort of everybody trying to bring up one another. But in storyline, right now, it just feels like it's time for a major change in the chapter of Kenny Omega and Heyman Page. So I'm saying that the titles, and we get history, I'm saying the titles change hands and go to the best friends. And keep in mind, as Fyter Fest did state over these 2 weeks, all titles are on the line. I gotta imagine that at least one's got to change. And in my opinion, this is the most likely to happen, and I feel it's most deserving. With that being said, Bradley, your thoughts on this match, and if the best friends don't win, do you see them imploding?
First of all, I just want to say that I think no matter what happens, I think the wrestling fans and the wrestling community will win because of the epic proportions that are being put into this match.
Damn right.
Let me just say that first. You know, there's a lot that I would like to say about this match because I'm so excited. You know, I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan. I love Hangman, and I love the best friends.
Yep.
I do think that this would be the right opportunity for the best friends to win this match and win the gold. And that being said, on social media, and I talked about this on a live stream, I think about a week or two ago. I think it was last week, actually. Kenny Omega shared a Facebook post of footage from New Japan Pro Wrestling when he was heel and talking to the crowd in Japanese. And my immediate thought when I saw that was, he's teasing the fans of what could be happening.
He's known to do that.
There's been that animosity. There's been that rivalry. You also have to consider the fact that the tag team division is growing and developing. I think that match they had the last pay-per-view with the Young Bucks, that was so good. But we're seeing so many good matches now with all these other guys. It's like we have to take the opportunity to pass the torch and see what more can happen. Also, my prediction is I think Kenny's going to turn on Hangman, and then we're going to see that rivalry we've all wanted to see, where it's going to be Hangman. Yeah, Hangman versus Omega. Now, if the best friends were to lose, I don't think that they will implode per se. I can see a bit of a fallout happening on the following episode of Dynamite when Fyter Fest is over. But not to jump too far ahead, but can you imagine what would happen if the best friends were to capture the titles and Orange Cassidy were to get his victory over Chris Jericho? Can you imagine what it would do for that little trio and what it would do for all three of those guys' careers heading forward?
I mean, it would skyrocket them more than they've already been under AEW. And honestly, that probably would put Orange Cassidy in line for a world championship opportunity.
Yeah.
So with that being said, looking at the short term, you're thinking that the best friends are going to get it?
I think so. That's if I had to bet money, I would be putting it on the best friends.
Like, give the people what they want. And truth be told, the tag team champions, they've already had 2 title defenses in between this time, thus showing why they are still the champions and keeping this match intact. But it wasn't like it was an easy ride for the best friends either, putting their own freaking number contention on the line against the Sex Gods. I think that's a dumb name. I'm just going to say that for the record right now. And they did win, okay? Hey, I'm just saying, okay? Come on now. This is AEW. You got to be critical about this company if you love it so much, okay? Because you can't just love everything and expect everything to be flawless. hence the women's division. We're seeing it better, but I'm sure we had different thoughts at first. With that being said, though, I know Chuck Taylor. He is definitely one that has a short fuse. And if anyone's going to implode during this match, it's going to be him when he clashes with Adam Page. We saw what Adam Page did when he got on the ring against the Young Bucks at Revolution. He turned that match all into that team's favor. And will this match top Revolution? I don't think so. But you can't argue that this is the match you're looking forward to the most probably on night one with who you got in the ring and how this match has been built.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this match. But I think the people should get what they want. And I bet you they want the Best Friends to finally have a tag team championship in their freaking career as a tag team. Simple as that. Best Friends for the win. All right. So with that being said, we talk about an incredible match that really is going to test the bonds of friendship and overall tag team chemistry. But let's talk about a testament to professional wrestling, because that is what Cody is pushing down our throats every week with this title, and I love it. Whether people have feelings about this press conference being TNA-like or not, that's your opinion. But Bradley, give me your thoughts on this, which is likely to close the show, in my opinion. It wouldn't surprise me, because it's been doing that for Dynamite. The AEW TNT Championship, held by the American Nightmare Cody, happy birthday, by the way, versus the Inner Circle's Jake Hager. Both these two, they are wrestlers at heart, okay? They came up from an amateur wrestling background. They own their divisions. JR will tell you nonstop what Jake Hager has been doing, but he will not ignore the pedigree of Cody's amateur wrestling background as well. Both these men, they've taken shots at each other. Verbally, they respect each other as wrestlers, but in the end, one of them's just going to eat the other up. So with that being said, what Cody is using this title for. And by the way, I love the fact that he's looking at this title for what it could stand for, not what it looks like. And that means so much more to me when you hear the saying, it's not the championship that makes the champion, it's the champion that makes the championship. Mad respect to Cody with everything he's done with this beautiful, incomplete title. But that's the thing about it, what it stood for and how it was won and what he's making it stand for and the matches I'm thinking that could happen. With that being said, Bradley, your thoughts on this match, and regardless of result, who do you see next challenging for the AEW TNT Championship? Take it away.
Well, I really like your take on, in paraphrasing the mindset of it's not the belt that makes a championship, it's the champion that makes the championship overall. And you think about Cody Rhodes. I mean, he's such a talented wrestler. He's incredible in the ring. I remember Bret Hart even said recently, he goes, "You want to see the best wrestling? Just go watch Cody Rhodes. Go turn on any recent video of Cody Rhodes, and that's what wrestling should be." I think that Jake Hager, I think he's very talented as well. I think you're probably right that this could be the close of the show. If not, it's probably going to be second to last. But I think Cody's going to retain because I think that the company is going to be putting faith in him to help make that championship show. I can't talk, so to say. That's my flub up for the day. But I think that I think Hagar is going to give him a run for his money. He just had an incredible match with Lance Archer. And speaking of Bret Hart, and Mark, I know you're a huge Bret Hart fan. Bret's my boy. I think we're going to see some similar booking in the sense that we're going to see Cody going up against some real threatening guys and really make that championship mean something. I think Hager's going to really dominate the match for a good portion of it, but I think in the end, Cody's going to come out on top, and it's going to be one of those matches where you're going to see so many near pinfalls. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. It's going to take your breath away, and you're going to leave Dynamite, and you're going to leave that match feeling really good about what you just saw.
And again, both these men come from different worlds. Jake Hager, you saw the way he came out. And Cody, he's really putting this title through the races, just like he's doing his body for the love of professional wrestling. He won against Lynch Arch double or nothing, and then he goes defending against Jungle Boy, putting him over in an incredible main event. Then he goes, puts it up against Marquand, who truly shows what he's capable of in a singles competition type status. And again, that's the beauty of AEW, where everybody in the tag team division are very capable as singles competitors, it seems. And then, of course, his last match, he survived against former NWA World Television Champion Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks got signed, thus really bringing forth the idea of anybody can come in and challenge for this title. And honestly, your match for this title can make you. into AEW. So with that being said, Mark, your thoughts on Cody and what he brings as far as the prestige and outlook of this title, and who is your pick to win this match?
All right, I'm going to keep this short because I got a question for you guys surrounding this match. Okay, I think everybody pretty much feels Cody's going to win here. We can tell you about 100 reasons on why he should and why he shouldn't. And this is my question. If Hager does win, what happens then? How do you guys see it going if he does? I mean, because I feel like the narrative is 100% Cody's going to win. I mean, they haven't even got the official belt complete yet. Don't you think that he should at least have the complete belt on his shoulder before he loses it? And I get the whole idea of bringing new talent in, and it's an opportunity for other wrestlers coming from other companies to come over, which is a very intriguing aspect. But I don't think Hager would do that if he won that. So I don't think they want to do that. But my question is this. What if they did? What if Hager did win? What happens then?
Well, considering Hager considers himself a prize fighter, he clearly would look and just watch on as people fight towards earning the right to challenge him for the title. Hager also is a guy that you see could be very emotionless, it seems. It's like he really can't be riled. But I think if you challenge him from his wrestling background, because we all remember when he was the All-American American, and we saw how much he went with that, I truly see him really holding this title hostage. But again, this title is not just about pro wrestling's image. It's the image of AEW, because this is a network-driven title. You represent TNT and AEW Dynamite if you're this champion. And both these men in this match, they definitely can carry that. But as far as the storyline goes for future matches, if Hager held it, I consider him holding it literally hostage to the point that Jericho would try to control it as well, being part of the inner circle. But Hager might bring it on his own and be like, Jericho, I don't need you influencing how I carry myself as a champion, okay? I see what you did. And again, that could build some subtle hostility within the inner circle itself, and Hager might break away. So again, you're right. It might really change the dynamic of not only the title, but Hager. But I see him literally holding as hostage situations to the point we might not get another TNT Championship match until AEW All Out. And who knows who that could be. On the other side with Cody, he can't go any higher than this title. You figure if he loses it, he's done practically. He also talked about how when he turns 40, he might stop professional wrestling altogether. But right now, I'm just going with the fact that right now, he needs to continue building this title, and he's using it to really put over who AEW you should watch out for and you should watch. And honestly, I'm just waiting for Darby Allin versus Cody for that belt at this point, because there is no doubt there needs to be an end to the history between Cody and Darby Allin. And I think your definitive end with those two is Darby Allin finally becomes TNT champion. But with that being said, I jumped it on enough. And keep in mind, Cody's record is 13-1, while Jake Hager, he's not even in the top 5 right now. And he's already contended for the world title and lost. Bradley, I know we said a lot, but give me your thoughts on this match and Jake Hager, and what do you think's come next for the TNT championship?
Well, before I get into that, I do want to say you did ask me who I think the next challenger could be for the TNT title.
Yes.
And if Cody were to retain, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think with all these video packages we're seeing, I think Darby Allin logically would be the next guy. And I think it would make a lot of sense once he does come back into the fold. But at the same point, you also have to kind of pay attention to see exactly what happens at Fyter Fest, because you get a victory from the Dark Order. We could see Colt Cabana going after it. I mean, who knows?
That is true.
But your most recent question, you just asked, what do I think if Hager wins the match?
That was what Mark, yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple things, and I think that I think we're going to see some turmoil eventually spill out in the inner circle, like you mentioned. But my prediction is we're gonna see a reigniting of that feud with Cody and MJF. I think that's the next logical step, especially if you see MJF as a tag team take a loss on the first night of Fyter Fest. I think that it's going to give a reason for those two to prove themselves from a storyline perspective. MJF, even though it wasn't singles competition, he suffered his first loss on a pay-per-view night Cody lost a belt he just won. This could set up the opportunity for Cody to come back and say, you know what? You've never been defeated in singles matches. You're going to retain your winning streak. And if I beat you, I have every opportunity to challenge for the AEW world title.
I could really thrust MJF all the way to the top. I like the way you did that. And again, Fyter Fest, Tony Khan says, expect surprises. This is pay-per-view quality matches and booking we're getting for free on weekly television for the next 2 weeks. I'm really talking about night one. The bottom line is this: no matter what happens night one, you know there's going to be some aftermath waiting for us to be seen on night two, whenever that might actually be. And keep in mind, due to the events that recently really ramped up the precautions in Florida, both nights are being taped this week. In fact, July 2nd, they're taping the July 8th show because of the events surrounding coronavirus. And don't get me started with those who have been affected. Renee Young, please get well soon. With that being said, folks, that's it for night one. So with that being said, does anyone have any last thoughts, surprises, or closing remarks as we prepare for Fyter Fest night one? Riley, I'll start with you. Put you on the spot.
All right. I think we really need to pay attention to Chris Jericho on commentary. He's going to be there. He's going to be entertaining. I won't be surprised if he makes a move somewhere and gets involved in a match in some form or capacity. I'm just going to keep my eyes out for something to make him mad. I mean, who knows? Maybe, and not that this is going to happen, but even for just the giggles, I just want to see Pineapple Pete on there just so he can go. I can hear Jericho say, "Hey, look, it's Pineapple Pete. I hate that guy." Because that makes me laugh every time. But you know, I think Jericho. The fact that they announced that Jericho is going to be on commentary, there's a reason for it. I think he's going to get involved in one match in some way, and it's going to make a difference to the outcome and lead to the story.
I mean, we saw what happened when Orange Cassidy got the best of the Inner Circle, and Jericho bludgeoned him with blood oranges, okay? So, yeah, I feel like Jericho on commentary is something to definitely only listen to, but watch for because an angle might go down. With that being said, good luck on night one. This was very fun. Mark, any closing remarks or ideas you think that might happen, what you think might happen as we conclude this episode?
I think at Fyter Fest, you will ultimately look back and see that the early stages of the Four Horsemen in the AEW will start to form at Fyter Fest. Now, that's just my opinion. I've actually, I don't know if I posted it or not on Team All These page. I've actually booked how Four Horsemen come together, you know, over the course of the next year. But I think that the early rumblings of all that happening take place starting at Fyter Fest. But if not, if that's just something that doesn't even remotely have close come to happen, then hopefully we'll get a good show, and I'm definitely looking forward to night one and night two. So.
Yep, and we'll be back next week at this time, maybe with more All Elite members, to review night one and predict night two. With that being said, Mark, Bradley, this was an absolute pleasure. Good luck to both of you. And everybody, I hope you tune in to Fyter Fest again this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TNT, the first night, AEW Dynamite. It's going to be a wild night of professional wrestling, and I sense there's going to be some unique surprises and some upsets, and who knows what other type things might be foretold for night two and for the future of AEW. With that being said, Bradley, again, absolute pleasure. Is there anything you want to promote, or where can people find you to talk more AEW with you, or just maybe get like a good vibe from you too?
Yeah, so Dr. Bradley Campbell, PharmD. I took an inspiration. I actually am a pharmacist in real life. That's what I do for a living. And being part of a wrestling group, I took my inspiration from Britt Baker because I think she's a fantastic wrestler. And, I love music. And I'm like, well, Britt Baker can pursue her passions. Then, I'm going to do the same thing. So that inspired me for my gimmick. But if you want to hear more, I'm kind of getting new to this whole podcast sort of thing, but you join Team All Elite on Facebook. I do some live streams. I like to give my thoughts and analysis of things going on, and I like to just kind of ask some, off the wall questions and just generate discussion. I love pro wrestling. I love when it tells a story and it gets you excited. Anime is another medium that does the same thing, but with wrestling, it's week in, it's week out. It's year round. You can always tune in, and there's always something for everybody. So I got to say, Noah, it's been a pleasure being able to talk to you for the first time. I have had an absolute freaking blast tonight, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again next week.
Absolutely, man. This was an extreme pleasure. Thank you again. And just to go off what he said, I'm just going to say this about what I think might have a surprise. Britt Baker, full encased cube, literally talking to Tony Schiavone via phone texting only, but Big Swole is still going to somehow get to her. Reba, be on standby. Poor Rebel. I love that character. Mark, as always, a pleasure, sir. Anybody you want to plug or promote, where can people find you and talk about wrestling? And I know you also do questions of the day, which I heavily enjoy.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Mark Griffith or Ashley Reynolds, or on the AEW Facebook page, Team All Elite. Also, I also do the question of the day, like Noah was just talking about. I do that on Twitter and Team All Elite as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I love doing it each and every day. You guys know that. So I'm definitely looking forward to Fyter Fest. Doc, I'm glad you were able to be a part of it. I'm glad I was on the first episode with you. And Noah, thanks for giving us this platform to talk about something that we love, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate all of you.
Real quick, I just got to give a shout out, Mark. I owe you a huge thanks because you kind of opened up and introduced me to this world of this other side of wrestling, be able to get in these discussions. I want to thank you for helping me get out there and have these discussions. And Noah, again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Like I said, be yourself, have fun with wrestling, have fun with wrestling friends who like wrestling just like you, and go along with it. So, hey, if I can reach out to more people simply by being me talking to AEW for this platform, I'm happy to do that. Because, again, it's not about me. It's about wrestling. It was an extreme pleasure. I thank you again. Thank you both. And, Brad, happy to accommodate. And definitely, I will see you two next week. So, folks, stay tuned next week for the next episode of AEW Spark that will be reviewing Night 1 of Fyter Fest and, of course, previewing Night 2 of Fyter Fest. It will be, again, Tuesday night as we record this. 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I understand Dark Son. Let me talk to you real quick about my dark picks. Lance is going to kill Pineapple Pete. I believe Nick is going to pin Peter Avalon. I'm going with Ricky Starks in his dark debut win. I love Allie. She's one of my favorite wrestlers ever since Smash Wrestling. I believe Allie picks up the win again for her team and pin Skylar Moore. Butcher, I think, is going to get some momentum towards his match. Pin Lowrider. Scorpio Sky is going to continue proving why he can make it as a singles competitor. And Sean Spears. That glove, man, it seems to be very effective. And I think, again, it's going to lead to another victory. Those are my quick picks and highlights of AEW Dark, because I always like to shed some light on Dark here on Spark. And I'm not Dr. Seuss. That's just the way it worked out. But with that being said, if y'all want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. Yeah, everyone knows now. And I am a lifelong fan of, and I'm going to do this now, ... wrestling. Why pick sides if you can just enjoy the art of wrestling in anything you care about for any person? Don't judge, don't critique, don't bully, don't belittle. Just enjoy wrestling. Find what connects to you. I could give you a lexicon of promotions that I watch, okay? Or seen at least once, but I'm not going to do that. But anyway, you want to talk and follow me with wrestling, Twitter at @Foster1916, Instagram at @Foster1916. You're watching this silver YouTube channel here, youtube.com/user/NoFoss210. People keep telling me there's a short URL. I'll figure that out eventually. But thank you, by the way, to all 150 subscribers that been with me on this creator's journey. I'll keep bringing my fun and enjoyment and personality to you in its simplest form, purest form, for all things wrestling. And shout out to my ATW family on Twitter. With that being said, this also, of course, was an idea because, Mark, as you know, being part of Team All Elite, I am y'all's Le Champion. So good luck to you both, as I will be defending my title against the entire Team All Elite family, newcomers included. A lot of tough men and women out there. I'm not going to say this is going to be easy, but I dang sure ain't going down without a fight. With that being said, stay tuned for more on that. We'll give you an update on the scores next week as well. And if you want to know more about that and how you can participate, just reach out to Team All Elite on Facebook or Mark on Twitter. Just DM him. But anyway, follow my YouTube channel, all sorts of things wrestling, reviews, podcasts, predictions, takeaways, forums, etc. There's going to be a very busy week this week, as I will be, of course, reviewing each day of the New Japan Cup. starting tomorrow. And I'm going to
Yes,
try.
sir.
Yeah, I'm going to try a little challenge for July, since I like talking about something simple in 7 minutes in wrestling wise. I'm going to try and put out a little something summed up in 7 type video each day in July, starting tomorrow. And it could be anything. It could be a match, could be a review, it could be my thoughts on the wrestler, it could be questions from any of you. Stay tuned to my new series, by the way, Sipping and Chatting. I'll answer more of your questions on Thursday. And as always, I like to close because I can plug as many promotions and wrestling forums as I want, but y'all can just click them in the description. I'll just say a couple, though. Support WrestleJoy, support NoDQ, support the Great Cherry brand, buy a shirt. I have a shirt, and so much more. And support your wrestling outlets big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, authentic, elite wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell, know next video goes live on this channel, hit the subscribe button, help me grow the channel, help me reach out to more of the wrestling community. Become a creator yourself. I hope I maybe encourage some people to just be you and have fun with it. Shout out to my good friend Jen. She does great stuff with NXT. Aftermatch Wrestling does NXT, NXT UK. And Big Heel, he discusses NXT as well. And Gina, she plays Last of Us. Boy, that's going to be an emotional journey for her. So good luck, Gina. With that being said, for the leader, creator of Team All Elite, Mark Griff Reviews, for the doctor and kind-hearted fellow in Mr. Bradley Campbell here, who's also unscripted, I'm just a simple man, not freshly squeezed, really, but I'm simple. And my name is Noel Foster. I hope you all take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Enjoy wrestling. Wear a mask. Be safe. Be smart. Be conscious. Also in how you treat others on the internet, too. And until the next video, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you both again.